we need to do a little bit more team bonding, some kind of individual meetings and team meetings. And I'm going to separate them a little bit in practices, the men's separate from the women's, and we typically haven't done that in the past. We have some very good athletes, but I think they lack a little confidence in themselves at the whole. They get too wrapped up in their academics and other things that they're doing and really don't believe sometimes in their abilities. Come race time. Practice time, they're outstanding. Key returners. Well, on the men's side, we did lose our national qualifier in Justin McMaster, but Matthew Pogarelli had a great spring last year. He actually started to believe in himself, had some great times, record times for him. He should be a force for us this year. Daniel Schultz, if he's a senior, if we don't redshirt him, he should have a good season for us. He's a tough kid and a hard worker. On the men's side, newcomers, we have 3 good newcomers coming in that had great high school careers, and we're expecting a lot out of them. Okay, and I think they'll do very well. On the women's side, Marina DiBiase, who was injured last year for us, she was our top runner. She had an excellent spring, as did Emily Isley, Ellen Whistle, and Amanda Saver. So I think with those returners, I thought we underachieved a little bit on the women's side. And we have a great returning group, and we have some outstanding newcomers that came in that'll add to that group. It's one of our biggest women's teams we've had in a while, and loaded with some talent. Again, talent said, we've got to work and we've got to take it one day at a time and see where we go from there. Highlights in our schedule. Well, the FSU meet on the 2nd of October is always a popular meet for our kids. They get to travel. It is an excellent course. Got some hills, which are fun and good. Typically some faster times that time of season. Our conference championship and our regional championship, the conference on the 24th at Florida Southern and the regional championship at St. Leo on November 7th are always highlights at the end of the year for us. That determines whether we go on to a national championship. And those are the kind of the goals we're looking for, is to come in that top 3 at a regional championship, so we do move on. We did that in 2012 with a men's team. Haven't done it yet with a women's team. We have done it with several individuals, but we're looking to move on from there.
I think the biggest thing is our depth. Last year when we finished the season, we had 6 guys finish. And then in our last meet of the year, we also have some girls that do crew. And so they missed the conference meet too. And so this year with the depth, we had our first meeting the other day. We have 12 guys out. We have 27 girls, which is a bit too many. I think the school likes that because they're full paid kids. But I think the depth is the main thing to improve on from last year. Yeah, our guys team, our best runner is a sophomore named Jack Williams. He was a real surprise last year as a freshman. We're excited for him. And then probably our best leader is a guy named Emmett Horvath, who has been this will be his 3rd year running for us. He's kind of the glue that holds our team together. We have a couple new guys that were pretty good in high school, but they understand it's a little bit longer in college, and we'll see how that translates to the college races. And then on the women's side, we have our best returner named Sarah Ankley. She'd be a 3rd year runner for us. She went abroad the last 2 years ago, ran a little bit last year, and I think we're looking forward to pick up where she left off as a sophomore. And then we have some returning runners that we're looking forward to. Fran Champion will be a senior for us. Isabel Seddon, and then Morgan Colley will be back too. A couple of those girls are crew members of the crew team too, so they split time with us. But with them coming back, we think we have a chance to be a lot better than last year. My favorite meet is the Disney meet. That is October 10th, but unfortunately that's on fall break. It's a pretty good atmosphere out there. It's fun. There's a ton of colleges. And then the next meet that I like is September 10th, UCF. It's a Saturday morning. The reason it's fun is just that's the only one that some local kids come out. Some of the students will come out and watch our kids run. And then our conference meet's October 24th. And our main goal all season is to have our best meet be our conference meet. And so we're aiming towards October 24th.
I like to say we have a pretty big mix of veterans along with quite a few rookies, both sides. So men, we have returning Kyle Butler, Jose Perez, and Zach Hall and Cody Van Natter. Those are some of our key returners. On the women's side, we have a huge junior class coming back in Molly Price, Becky Levy, and Ashley Montano, and a couple others to speak of. So we've got a lot of incoming freshmen on the women's side, right around 10 actually, that really is going to provide, I hope, some more stability on the women's side. We're speaking of a lot of numbers. We've never had such a large team before on both sides. We have about 19 on the roster on each side. So more or less, we're really trying to establish some numbers and then try to phase out some runners in an attempt to really build this team upon even bringing in a new assistant coach in Stephanie Bylander, who has a great running background, we could say. So really, we're going to look to build around her and attempt to see what we can do moving into conference and region, and hopefully having some of the same success on the men's side, and really trying to build this women's team to where it can be very competitive again. So. Key meets, we have, well, University of Florida. It's roughly the same ones. We'll have Florida State, where we always try to run well at. We shortly peak thereafter for conference and region. More or less, it's a couple of meets that we'll fill in between. We do hold our very first home meet this year at the Holloway Park. So, we'll be there, and a couple of meets in between. But more or less, again, we have our A team trying to poke in some really big meets at UF and FSU as normal, and then obviously, arranging to peak at our purposes for conference and region. So, well, you got St. Leo in there. They obviously had a very good season last year, winning on both sides for conference, and then Tampa's always in there, and Nova's in there, and obviously these are teams that are really starting to compete, and obviously we're just waiting for Embry-Riddle to come in 17-18, I believe. So all of our teams are really growing, and it's getting more competitive. We're trying to fight for a region that seems to be one of it at its weakest. So we're always just trying to compete and get to the national meet and actually do some damage there. So that's the next big goal that we have here at Florida Southern, is not just getting to nationals, but actually top 20, top 15, whatever it may be.
Well, I think the most important thing is the summer training this year. The guys are a little more experienced. We've had a lot of young guys over the last 2 years, freshmen and sophomores. This year we have 2 seniors and about 5 juniors. So they've taken upon themselves to train a lot harder this summer, which should lead to a greater season this year. I think that's the first step. I mean, they're averaging probably around 70 to 75 miles a week during the summer, and that's going to make a huge difference for them in terms of being prepared for running this fall. One of the most important things for us is that Lars Benner, who was our top runner for most of the fall until the very end, he had a little rough patch at the end, and he got injured in track, so he missed most of the track season, is back healthy and running strong, and he's going to be one of our impact runners. Matt Hoffman, who's another junior who's really made a good impact over the end of track season last year and came around, ran the fastest time for our track runners, is going to be a huge impact runner for us this year. And then probably the most important guy right now coming around, who's probably the most fit guy of all these guys, is Tyler Blackburn, who's a swimmer who switched over to cross country a year ago, and he's been training 90 miles a week. He possibly could be our #1 runner, and he's going to be a challenger for the top 3 in the conference this year if he continues with that. We have 5 new freshmen coming in. Well, actually 3 freshmen and 2 transfer kids, but the one freshman, Joe Weber, from Tyler's High School up in Jersey, is a pretty good runner. He's a 9:42 miler, and he should be a very good runner who possibly will make our top 7 if he gets everything going. But it's going to be a challenge because we lost only Steve Dennings last year, and that's 1 out of 16 guys coming back. This year we're doing something new, and Coach Slaven and I both looked at trying to find a good race for both the guys and girls and really challenge them to the next level. We've gone to Louisville a couple of times to really try to see how we do in the pre-national kind of setting. This year we're going to the Minnesota Roy Griak invite, which is one of the largest invites in the country, and that's at the end of September, and that's going to give us a good indication how we compete against some of the top teams in the nation, because both Grand Valley, Minnesota Duluth, and Augustana all go to that meet, and that's 3 of the top 5 teams from last year, both guys and girls, so it should be pretty interesting.
Well, we have an excellent summer training. I've been keeping in contact with all the girls over the summer, and we tried to up the mileage a little bit. Fortunately, we have everyone coming back from last year, so we have our entire varsity team coming back. So the only thing that we can do to make it better is to make sure they come back more mature as runners. As I just said, we have our entire team coming back. We have our two co-captains, Chantel Blundell and Danielle Kissel, who will be seniors, who are excellent leaders, and they keep the team honest when we do our workouts. We have Claudia and Elena Cancello coming back, and they're going to be the captains the following year. So they are in the top mix for the top 5. And then we have Aislinn Scherzinski coming back, and she's been putting in an unbelievable summer. We have Kayla Sullivan and Rachel Higgins coming back as well. As far as impact runners go, we have one runner from Germany who has 1 year remaining for competition, Juliana Baum. She's going to be running and probably will make the top 7. So there's going to be quite a fight to make that varsity traveling squad. We have a number of incoming freshmen that could possibly make the top 7. We have Erica Peterson from Colorado, Thea Ramsey from Colorado, Caitlin Whetstone from Ohio, and those 3 girls have run excellent times as high school athletes, and we're hoping that they will challenge some of the veterans to make us a tougher squad. Scheduled highlights, we always look forward to the Mountain Dew race at the University of Florida, because we'll be running against some powerful SEC schools as well as ACC schools and independent schools. Gives us a good indicator of how tough we are, because we'll be running against mostly D1 schools at that particular meet. And as Coach Dror said, we're going to Minnesota, and that should also give us an opportunity to run against some of the best D1 and D2 schools in the nation.
Well, we're always looking to improve. One of the main ways I look to improve as a coach with my team is moving up in the conference. In addition to that, I look for individual improvement. So for each individual to come in good condition and get a PR at one of our first couple meets, so that by the end of the season they're rolling a lot faster. And I know that with so many returners, if we do that, we'll end up moving up in the conference. Sydney Schmidt is returning, and she looks to improve. She is one of our middle runners, and then Rebecca Matthews as well is returning, and I look for big improvement in depth out of those girls. In addition, we have Aliyah Muhammad Menzies returning, and she's been training really hard this summer. I'm really proud of her for that, so I look for some improvement out of her. We have Meadow Noonan returning, coming off an injury late last season. I know she's been running as well this summer, so I'm excited to see her. As far as newcomers go, we have a few girls who are already at Lynn. Bella O'Brien, Desiree Cusculio, Thierry Arecido, and Caroline Scheifele, and I'm excited to see what they bring to the table for our team. Well, we get to run the conference course this year before conference, so we're definitely looking to have a good showing there before our conference championship. So those will be 2 big meets. Non-conference challenging opponents, we're going to the UCF invite, which will be some really tough D1 competition. But I look for our girls to step up at that meet on a great course. And then the Disney Cross Country Invitational is always a favorite with the girls. We look for some PRs at that meet, and we're excited about that as well.
Yeah, so last year after winning the conference championship on the women's side and getting second at regionals and going to nationals for the first time, it was definitely an exciting time for us. We definitely have more work to do, though. Obviously, we want to come home with another conference title and then improve on our regional finish from last year and hopefully take away the regional title this year as well as conference. And then last year at nationals, you know, we were 28th on the women's side, so I think making at least a marked improvement from there would be a good thing, and that's what we're really excited for. Yeah, on the men's side, we've had a lot of success recently. You know, 2 years ago when we hosted conference, we were only 7 points away from winning the title that year, and then we went to nationals that year as well. And then, you know, this past year, obviously winning was huge for us. And then we got second at regionals, similar to what the women did. We had some key injuries there, but I'm not going to make excuses. So I think this year a good point for us would be come away with another conference title, come away with the regional title, and then definitely make a huge improvement upon last year's national ranking, or national finish rather. Hopefully try and be somewhere top 20, I think would be realistic for us, but we're always hoping for the best. Yeah, so we have a lot of key returners coming back. Colette Ramf, Natalie McCormick, Kylie Fagan, Kari Grippo. So we have a good amount of women returning, definitely some veterans. So we're excited that they're back and able to provide some leadership to some of our newcomers, like Alyssa Bailiff and Laura Tobin. Those will be two of our key freshmen right away, and then we have Heidi Churchill and Naomi. They'll both be additions later on, but I think they're going to take some more time to develop. But we have a really good incoming freshman class as well as returners. Didn't really lose any of our top 5 runners. Carl Dunn comes back, Valentin Lenz comes back, Nicholas Bez comes back, Rafal Matatuszczyk comes back, Joe Marat comes back. So that's our solid top 5. I don't think that anybody in the conference right now can really challenge those 5. They're in shape, ready to go. So they'll be good leaders for some of the newcomers. Jose Garcia down from Puerto Rico, he's going to be hopefully an impactful performer for us, as well as Christian Arroyo and Jared Coxey. Those guys will take some time to develop, but they're definitely going to help contribute. We'll have a meet in October, early October, up at Paul Short. A lot of good teams are going to be there, a lot of good D1 teams, D2 teams, NAIA, a whole mix of kids. But that'll be a good indicator of kind of where we're at. There's top 10 teams there from around the country. So Paul Short up in Pennsylvania, hosted by Lehigh, will be a good indicator before conference of where we kind of stand in the national rankings as well as in our regional rankings. Well, season outlook, going to come away and hopefully be able to beat Tampa again. I think they're going to be the team to beat this year. I know Nova's got some good girls coming in, so we'll see how it goes, but I'm definitely optimistic and confident looking forward.
We had some key injuries last year at the regional meet. Our number 2 and 3 runner had some injuries that kept him out of the race. Unfortunately, that's what cost us. So this year what we're going to do is going to back down off the mileage a little bit and see if we can develop our athletes this way. We have the entire men's squad coming back. On the women's side, we lost a lot of key athletes. A couple of our seniors graduated, so we have a whole new class coming in. So hopefully we can get the experience they need early throughout the season to have a good showing at the regionals on the women's side. And our men's side, we just got 1 or 2 new athletes coming in. So the men's side is basically have the entire team coming back. Unfortunately, on the women's side, that's where we're going to struggle a little bit. But I have a strong feeling with the recruits that we brought in, we'll have a great showing at regionals.
Those key returners on the men's side?
Yeah, some of our key returners are Tommy Ingalls. Another one is Lucas Long Train. We also have Wade White and Ben. Again, those guys have been sensational. So we have a great returning class. It's really hard to pick only which athletes that's going to be our number 1 runner, because any given day, 1 through 7 could be our number 1 runner, so which is a really exciting time for us. We got a couple of kids. We have 2 from Germany that will be coming in this year that could give a run for the top 5. As well, we have a local kid named Blake. He'll be coming in, and he's got a good shot of being in that top 5 as well. Stephanie DeGrago. She's from Ferguson High School in Miami. She's doing really well. I have some high expectations of her to lead these new incoming girls to what we need to be at. I think with her at the helm, I think we're going to do really good things. The new girls we got coming in, we have Haley Doss from my home state, Maine. She's supposed to be a good presence. We got some girls from Germany coming in, and then we got some other walk-ons that could possibly be some key additions to our team. Most of our recruits that we brought in are from cold weather states, so we're going to see if that's going to shake some things up. Our schedule this year, when we first started off at FAU, that's where we really want to make our presence known. And then from there, our next key meet will probably be when we go up to Michigan State, because that's somewhere totally different, and I like to see how our team adapts to change, going to a cold state into a much hillier state. So we're hoping some good turnouts there, and then conference and regionals.